Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like,
man. Thank goodness.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG here with you on a Tuesday evening. I've got Jexa and Blue Bum in the wings. What's this? What is this? Do you hear this? What is this? Bluey.
I hear it as well. And I can't hear you now. No, you're just coming in a little bit.
What's going on?
Now we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay.
You're in an elevator.
I'm in an elevator. Okay. There we go.
That's it.
It's all gone.
Nice. And Jex has just left us a message in private chat saying something weird's going on.
We are here on DeFi Down Under. Welcome, everyone in the chat. We've got 34 people watching live. Jex is having some audio issues. He'll be back in a minute. What's been going on, Blue Bum? You had, I noticed you did a little bit of hosting over the weekend on the conference, on the Pulse conference.
Yep, did a little 3-hour block. Hey, Jexa, long time no see.
Hey, it has been a while, about 6.5 weeks.
You've been off doing a walkabout, hey?
Yeah, I have. Didn't miss much, did I?
Nah, nothing.
Jesus Christ.
Same old. Same old.
Something always like that happens when I'm on holidays, I reckon. I got caught out at the end of the bull market when I was down on holidays just after Christmas in January and just watching everything implode, and I didn't have Trezors and stuff with me. And I'm like, what can you do?
Nothing.
Enjoy the holiday. Forget about it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Shut off again and just keep going.
That's an interesting point that you bring up. It's like if you're going on a holiday like that, and you're traveling around, you just can't risk taking, that it's such a risk taking stuff with you.
Yeah, I took enough to be able to do maintenance and things like that. I had a few stakes that I knew were coming to an end, so I had another account that I loaded up so I could do the good accounting and all that sort of stuff while I was away. But I didn't want my primary Trezors and things like that and other hardware wallets or seed words or whatever on me. It's getting a little bit crazy in terms of getting searched and seized and things like that. So
you never know.
just don't
Exactly.
Want,
And the other point is, like, you know, if you travel, I would suggest wiping everything while you travel.
Yeah.
You don't want to pass through any checkpoints anywhere and have the risk of them confiscating things, because unlike the average person, you know, there might be they might have access to labs that can access these things, and as we know, nothing is unhackable, you know, and we know that Trezors are hackable. We know that ledgers are hackable. Not easy, not for the average person, but they are. So
well, their pins are hackable, but not like not your private keys. Like if you have passphrases, then they can't get at them.
That's
yes,
right.
but this is the Late Show, and a lot of people in the Hex Late Show, a lot of people who are early to Hex started off with MetaMask, didn't they? So if you start off with MetaMask, you're not going to have and you've got native stakes, then you're not going to have a passphrase on there, are you? And that's a consideration for people.
It's a good exercise to. So when you go away, it's a good exercise to go through because it makes you really have a look at the way you've got things set up, and I had to plan for, okay, well, if something happens to me and God forbid the rest of my family as well, what happens? So it was really good to put a lot more, and I'm always doing this, I'm always improving it, but it just makes you reassess everything, write things down, clean it up.
It's an ongoing
process.
It's
good housekeeping.
It's an evolution. It's something that you're constantly changing. And I went through it a few months before you did. I went through it about a year ago, right? I went through exactly what you went through.
And I've been through it as well. Yeah.
And oh, you're always going through it.
Let me sort it out. You guys just keep doing your thing. I'll work out what's going on.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you, Tangent, but obviously can't hear us. Yeah.
So you went away for a lot longer than I did. So, and I know
I'm still away. Yeah.
No, I've had some chats with 43, and I know some of the steps he went through was pretty involved. So you went.
It feels really good though. It feels really good to have it all set up and know how the backups work. And if this happens, then this happens. And if this happens, then I do this. Then this person's going to know this. And you know, you can't plan for every single eventuality. That's just possible.
But you can't have one. It can't just be one. Like there's a solution.
Yeah, you got to have backups.
Like you can have one solution if you're in one place, right? And you know where things are, and you've got access. You can go there, and or if you can't, if something happens to you, they can go there or whatever. That you can have that when you're in one place. But if you're traveling, you sort of that doesn't work anymore. You know, so you need more sophisticated ways of doing things. You know, maybe there are certain risks you might take, short-term, and not even really risks, because you'll always have like your cold storage backup, you know, but there might be some risks that you need to take along the way in terms of digitally. You know, you might want to store some things digitally for a very short amount of time, because I don't know about you guys, but I've seen YouTube videos of people getting stopped by cops and finding like sheets of paper with seed words on them, and then like because they've got their body cam, they're like the body cam is picking up the seed words. There's YouTube video of this stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because the guy,
I once helped a lady, and she had all her seed words stuffed in a glove box of a car. Like she had like 10 hardware wallets because she wanted to be security conscious. But she was writing it all down on scraps of paper and just keeping it in the glove box of the car. I'm like, that's not gonna end well.
Yeah. Asking for trouble. So, just as a lead into this show, Tangent, you've been doing a Twitter Spaces on privacy, which is something that we all care about a lot. I would say us four really care about this stuff, and it was interesting to hear the different things. Did you guys get a chance to talk about the new Samurai wallet BTC to Monero thing that they're doing?
No. It was PulseChain focused. So if it wasn't able to be like kind of directly impacting PulseChain, we weren't covering it. We had limited time because obviously I had to get to this stream. So no, we didn't talk about it. What's the deal? Is it good?
Well, the reason I saw it was because a lot of BTC maxi idiots were hanging shit on Samurai for having anything to do with another chain. And it's like that helps it's like that helps anonymity.
That's so dumb.
Like, which is
Monero's legit.
Yeah,
it's like
awesome.
it adds anonymity for people in BTC who need anonymity. That gives them some anonymity. Like, why is that?
So Samurai's always had mixing called Whirlpool, and so this is some kind of new, different. Does it still use Whirlpool as well, or does it just use the Monero to get privacy?
I know almost nothing about it apart from that.
This is also the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, so they're doing like something where it uses Monero to, which is, that's interesting.
Samurai and Wasabi have always gone toe to toe with each other, like which has been good because it means you've got someone who understands privacy, understands the tech, directly critiquing the other team that's trying to do the same. So they're actually in the best position to make those criticisms because they understand the tech. Now, you could argue there's also a bias that they're trying to promote their shit and say, look at what's wrong with their tech, use ours. That's true. But it also, they know the Bitcoiners are smart and are not going to just believe what they say, and people will check verify what they're saying. So they have to be careful that they're not throwing out like completely ridiculous accusations that are not true. And so that's been quite an interesting one to watch, actually.
An iron sharpens iron type situation where they're criticizing each other, but it might actually make them better.
Yeah, it holds everyone to a certain standard.
Yeah, competition is great.
So, I don't know whether this is true or not, Tangent. You probably would be aware of this. A lot of the Bitcoiners are saying that Lightning is their way of getting some privacy because the transactions
Taproot and Lightning both do help.
Yeah, mainly because you're pulling your transactions into a private channel. But then I guess the question is, who do you know is collecting data on what's going on in the private channel?
It's because we're on Bitcoin. Everything is completely visible to everyone on the network, whereas in Lightning, you only see the stuff that comes through your channel. You don't see the rest of the transactions on Lightning. So it is more private than base layer Bitcoin, but it's not perfectly private.
Yeah. So it's more.
You have to trust the Lightning channel you're going through.
Yeah, privacy through obscurity.
All of them. All of the channels that you go through.
Yeah.
Like as in if it's a multi-channel path.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It didn't sound quite right. It sounded like it was more of a Clayton's version.
It's not
of
really. It's not what I would. Yeah, it's not what I would call a privacy solution.
Yeah, but they don't claim it is. They never said it's a privacy solution. They just said it's more private than the base chain.
Yeah. Also, what we have to acknowledge is there's degrees of privacy. Like if you just want to send someone something and them not be able to have a look at all of your finances, that's one level of privacy. Trying to protect against people who are, scraping data or, state actors or whatever like that. That's a whole nother level of privacy.
Yeah.
And so the thing I wanted to is, that just was because I came onto that Twitter Spaces, but my sound was pretty wrecked.
Dude, what was that sound, man? It was horrific.
I know, man. I was in the Berlin Underground. And so it was the train.
So that was the train wheels on the tracks. That makes a lot of sense. That's the correct level of screechiness that it was.
That's awesome that the internet was working down there. Well, they must have
They must have Wi-Fi repeaters. I was just going to say that remember that even regardless of what happens on the Lightning network, when you resettle the channels, like when you close the channels and it settles it on the base chain, they can do on-chain analytics of that as well, which helps them to try and work out what happened on the Lightning Network. So for both those reasons, Sybil attacks on the Lightning nodes and the on-chain evidence once it resettles, like for creating and closing channels, I think they can get a fairly good idea of what's going on. So it's definitely not, it shouldn't be presented to people as a privacy solution. It just has better privacy than the base chain.
I think that was a recent change they made where the opening and closing of channels now just appears as a standard transaction or something on chain.
That's Taproot. Yeah, Taproot allowed that. Yeah. So you can't tell you can't tell what the actual type of transaction is. They just all look the same.
So one thing I wanted to add to that conversation out of Twitter Spaces was this is not a privacy solution in terms of, you know, your ultimate privacy solution. But if it is something where you want to just not have the person receiving the funds be able to go and check out your wallet, Zenify is a bridge aggregator. So it'll give you a whole lot of bridge options. Well, because it's got Zen in the name.
Is it related? Yeah, I just didn't want to be. Is it related? Is it related to that shitcoin then?
Yeah, they're doing some sort of
just only.
Well, I think you can. I can't remember. Yeah, there's some sort of tokenomics. Like you burn Zen, you get their thing or something like that.
I'm not interested in it because it's not a proper privacy solution. I'm not interested in it at all. It's not privacy. Okay. I think it's reasonable to say that.
For me, it's helpful because I like to pay for things with crypto, and if someone wants to be paid in Bitcoin, I have to have a way of getting over to Bitcoin, and them not being able to go and check out all my finances. So I'm not trying to protect against state actors. I'm just trying to protect against Joe Blow, who I'm sending money to.
I'll buy it. How does it work? Like
it's an aggregator. It's a DEX aggregator. So it's
the same as Portal X, is it? Is that?
I haven't looked at Portal X. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could just do the same thing on any DEX then. Right.
Well, no, it's a bridge. It's a bridge aggregator. So it looks at all the bridges and tells you which is the best bridge to use for the best deal. Basically.
All right. So I guess so then you've got the middleman situation again.
You've got those bridges. Yeah, you've got those middleman bridges, and that really depends on the bridge.
So, but then why? Then why does it have to be Zen? Then why can't it just be any coin that you?
No, you can do any coin. You can't. No, you do any coin. You do any coin to any coin. You do Pulse to. You can only do Pulse to Ethereum. I think that's
so. Why is Zen trying to take credit for like the awesomeness of it when you can literally just do any coin, or is it their thing? Like.
No, it's they built this whole thing, and they're doing it.
Also, they built it. The Zen team or whatever.
No. It's not the Zen team that built it.
Oh,
it's this new kind of like team, and they built this thing, but they wanted to do a fair launch and blah 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 blah. And so you can burn Zen to get there. I can't remember. There's a really
so they are from that community. They are from that community.
Well, they're not really from that community. They're crypto people, and then and they saw, I think that is liked. I don't know all about history.
Are they just stealing the brand then? I'm so confused. I'm lost, man. Well, are they stealing the brand then?
I'm lost as well.
Why? And by the way, why would you steal the worst brand in crypto? Like if you're gonna cheat and use someone else's branding, why would you go to like literally the worst possible brand?
If there's one thing that we've learned, it's that maxis are fucking idiots. Maxis of anything are idiots. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, but like, but if this is the only thing that I'm saying is shit, then I'm not a maxi, right? If I'm open-minded to nearly everything in crypto, and I say this one thing is shit, then I'm not a maxi, right? So as in,
no, you
just. Can I be a maxi?
This is not closed-minded maxiness.
Can I be a maxi at hating Zen? I'm joking.
So yes, I agree. We need to get rid of the closed-mindedness. I think that being a maxi without reasoning is a bad idea. Some of the Bitcoiners would argue that the reason that they're a maxi is not closed-minded, that they've considered everything else and they've still landed on like Bitcoin being the one or whatever. But I don't think I'm a maxi. Really? I mean, I'm an RH maxi, but that necessitates.
No, you're not even an RH maxi.
No, I'm an RH maxi. I'm an RH maxi. It's just that, in my opinion, now that PulseChain exists, being an RH maxi means you do need to involve yourself with shit that's. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy these other tokens, but you do have to be project building on the chain. Otherwise, we'll just end up being a ghost chain. So I think there's a distinction there in terms of what you invest in. So I'm an RH maxi pretty much when it comes to what I'll buy, but I'm not and as part of being an RH maxi and wanting PulseChain to succeed, I believe there needs to be a capacity there to welcome and embrace other projects.
So you're saying you only invest in RH coins?
I mean, I don't speak specifically about my portfolios and whatever. Like, theoretically, I might own no crypto, but my point is that I'm trying to just draw the distinction between those two things. That you can be an investment maxi and a technology slut. So I'm a technology slut and an RH.
Yeah, we're all technology
maxi.
sluts. Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually publicly admitted that I am still weighted very heavily towards RH projects, which was very detrimental to my financial situation when that SEC thing dropped, because pretty much everything I own got fucked hard.
Well, pretty much anything in the ecosystem wears the brunt of that if Pulse takes a hit.
Bluey, I feel like you want to explain that thing to me. Why don't you do it on not HEX?
That's what we were going to do. We were going to do last week.
Yeah.
You explained. I didn't bring it up. I bring it up because you are, I think, the Twitter Spaces, you were asking for other privacy alternatives, and that's something that I've, at a very low level, I've been using for that. So that's why I wanted to bring up there's another avenue.
Yep. So what else did we come up with? So there's Secret Network, which is something that, I think is...
Yeah, Secret Network's pretty good. I love that, actually.
It's an option, but you do have to trust...
Not on Pulse yet. Not on Pulse yet.
Yeah,
no,
it's
you have
not
to
on Pulse.
Yeah.
But we're...
It's basically Beetroot, Pulse LN, Spillways, once they get the withdrawals working properly, Hurry Cash, Hexnado. And potentially using one I didn't mention.
Why aren't people using? Actually, that's a really interesting question. Why aren't people using Hexnado?
It's not.
Why aren't people?
No, Hex. No, because
the contract would have been
Hexnado,
copied. No?
Yeah, but it would have been copied as for ETH. Like, do you understand? Like the ETH would be paying the fees.
But
so that ETH would be paying the fees.
Yeah, wouldn't we just need a front end?
I don't think. No, because
because that was for Hexnado was for Hex, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was for Hex
so it was
on
for Hex,
Ethereum.
But you're using
it was a Hex mixer.
You're paying your gas fees in Pulse.
In Ethereum. No, in
Ethereum.
But if now it's like copied, why? That'd be an awesome alternative.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, whether there's still support for it or not. I think on Ethereum it just got.
You need relayers. You need relayers.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, if you don't have a relayer, then you need an address to pay. Like, you're going to have to connect an address that has Pulse in it to the address that's withdrawing the mixed Pulse or Hex.
We haven't seen Kyle for ages, have we? He was the guy that built that, and we haven't seen him forever.
Yeah. So I think
XNA on the ILK.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
Well, I've no idea. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to use it, but it was too expensive to use on ETH because the fees were just crazy.
Well, at first it just wasn't enough people using it, so there wasn't enough of an anonymity set. Yeah, but then
I think that was the reason, because the fees were.
No, it was not being used before that. People just went. There wasn't enough people using it. But then the ETH fees went, blah blah blah, and
no, but
was
the
even
fees were high.
Less of a reason.
Dude, I remember when it came out the first time, the fees were like $20 when it came out, and the fee and
really?
everything was low. It was $20 then, and $20 is not is like, okay, $20 if you wanted to use something like that. But once the fees went up, it was just not usable at all, completely not usable. But on
it may actually be worth a reboot on PulseChain.
Yeah,
if it's affordable to do that. So I think that would
that'd
get a bit of use. I reckon.
Probably, I think it would. I think it would, but none of us, all of us, would have been. It would have been so much better if we all understood code.
Yeah, definitely had an advantage if you're a coder, that's for sure, in this game.
So, Hurry, did you guys look at Hurry Cash at all? Did you see the
little bit
anonymity set?
No,
because that's on Pulse.
I used it on the test. I used it on the test net, and then I think I had some problem with it. Oh no, that's right. It was what you and Dozza told me about how you've got to go and get the contract address or some shit
and put it in the thing. But now I don't think the relay is working now. I think the relayer is down. So that just breaks. The problem is if you don't have a relayer that breaks the whole thing, then you need to pay for the transaction to withdraw from an account, and then there's a link, between that account. So that's the whole point. That's why you need the relayer, which is sort of what
there's something the gasless transaction thing. Or meta transactions or whatever. That's a thing now. I'm not sure whether that helps that sort of issue or not. That's a pretty new development. I don't know too much about it, but maybe that's something that could help with something like that. I'm not exactly sure how that all. But once again, maybe that relies on a relay because someone's got to front the funds. So maybe that doesn't get around that particular issue. Don't know. We haven't found a good one that doesn't have the relayers yet, have we?
No.
Well, Hurry Cash, I think that was their whole thing, is they were getting around that problem somehow.
Yeah.
And have you?
I haven't seen that. There's a question here. Is this a question? Let's have a look. From Retrostatic. There was a way to go one-to-one Pulse to with RH mentioned there was a way, but straightforward. Did anyone figure it out? I'm not sure.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think what it was. Because wrapped ETH would always be mintable for one Pulse will always equal one wrapped ETH. I think what it was, people were gambling on when we had the wrapped BTC and that went up in price for the fork version. Was the same thing going to happen for wrapped ETH? And the long and the short of it was
BTC.
The long and the short of it was, well, no, because you can always mint wrapped ETH for one Pulse, so it's not going to.
I mean, you still need a bridge, whatever. Regardless, you're going to need a bridge to.
I think this was a different question though, because I think the mechanism for doing the wrapped ETH still existed on PulseChain. Now I didn't go into the details of it to find out specifically.
That's
how
still a
you
bridge,
do it.
Isn't
No,
it?
it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because wrapped ETH is not bridged; it's native. So it wasn't. Does that make sense?
But but that's not. Yeah, that's just kind of fake monopoly.
No, that's one Pulse. That's equal to one Pulse.
Pulse, yeah. So if you can,
it's an ETH equal one ETH equal one Pulse.
No, we're talking about BTC now.
No, the wrapped ETH.
No, one ETH. But the wrap stuff is just the copy, which has got no backing, so it's just a representation on the chain. It's not
exactly. So that's what allowed wrapped BTC to come up with some arbitrary value which was non-zero. but with wrapped ETH, you can always mint wrapped ETH with one pulse will mint you one wrapped ETH. So people were going to speculate on, well, if this fake BTC, wrapped BTC can go up in price, why can't wrapped ETH go up in price? But it couldn't because there was a mechanism. So if it went up to $10, then everyone would just print it for fractions of a cent. They'd mint it using their pulse to generate it. So it would never have that free floating value. It'd get arbed away.
So yes, so it's equivalent to one PLS.
Yeah, but the question was how do you do it? I had a quick look at it, but it wasn't straightforward, and I didn't waste too much time on it. I didn't think there was much.
Being wrapping and unwrapping.
Yeah.
I think you can do it on PulseX.
Don't know. You probably can. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. I'm thinking about wrapping and wrapping Pulse.
But it would just be same thing. It would be a contract address for the wrapped ETH. So don't see why you couldn't.
I thought I had done it, but maybe I'm getting that.
So hang on. So you're taking the copy of the wrapped ETH on PulseChain. You're unwrapping it so that you've got real copied ETH that you can't do anything with. What is that? How does that?
No, I don't even think you can unwrap it to real copied ETH.
Or even so if you could, or
you can't unwrap it because it's no longer the native token.
Yeah. Or if you would be, you'd unwrapping it to Pulse, maybe. I don't know. So, like I said, I didn't go down that rabbit hole.
Maybe.
I don't know. I didn't go all the way down the rabbit hole because I figured what's there benefiting me knowing that.
Like it would be good if it worked like that. I'm not sure if it works like that, but that would be pretty cool if it did, because it is the same thing theoretically, or at least it started its life at the same value.
Okay, so I mean, even so, it's kind of like, because Pulse is there's so many more that you're just unwrapping to like fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a cent kind of a value. So there'd be no reason to do that.
There's no reason. The net result is wrapped ETH will be worth one Pulse. That was the takeaway.
Yeah. And one Pulse is worth sweet fuck all.
Yep.
So,
well, I'm glad that we've sort of worked that out.
We've cleared that up. Thanks for that question.
Hey, to change topics.
Hey, tangent. Go on, Bluey. I was just going to say the tangent helped out over the weekend, helped Maddie Allen out with the Pulse conference. And so I already mentioned that you had it, Bluey. Any comments on that?
I had a fun time. I was pretty wrecked though, because it was such a drastic change to my schedule being awake during the day that my body didn't want to play ball in terms of in the prep to get my sleep rotation correct for the conference. So I was only sleeping like a few hours. I was like going to bed like super early so that I was like, okay, I can sleep for like heaps. And then my body would just wake up. And I'd have like 3 hours sleep. And then that happened both nights. So on the second day, I don't know if people could tell, but I was freaking wrecked. And then at the end, Maddie came in and was like, should we just keep going? Like, it's, he's like, I don't need to stop it necessarily at 42 hours. We can just go longer if you want. And he just looked so happy and so buzzed and like, he had put in so much effort. I didn't want to let him down and be like, actually, dude, I'm so wrecked. I'm about to go and pass out in the hallway. So I was like, all right, let's go. And so we went for at least another half an hour, maybe longer. And then I went and literally passed out for like 13 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really good. I had better conversations. Like I had conversations that were better than I expected. And my expectations were reasonably high.
Yeah, nice. I've got to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I know you've been working hard, man. You've done that.
Yeah, you've been going hard, Tangent.
Yeah, you've been everywhere.
I was meant to be 8 hours. I was meant to be hosting 8 hours per day, and then Maddie got Klaz and I think it might have been and KDP to like go deeper into their slots so that I would just be 6 and 6. So I did 6-hour shifts rather than 2 8s.
What's your normal sleep pattern?
I think maybe next conference I'll just do 1 day so that then you don't have to try and like, it doesn't matter how wrecked I am or how tired I am. I know that then after that, I just don't have to have a schedule.
The Australians went hard. Like when you think about it, there were
oh yeah, dude, we were so
a lot of
all over
hours of Australia. Like if you think KDP did like a nice big stint, you did 2 big stints, and Klaz did a big stint as well.
Yep. Who else was on there? Ty came on during one of my ones. He's Australian from Magic Carpet Ride. There were you two.
Yep.
You two were both on there as well. Bluey and 43 dropped in on the conference. Who else? I don't know if Dozza was on there at any point, but yeah. So it was like, yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I'm still catching up on content. Like I haven't watched it all. It was funny today because I was listening to it while I was driving around, and it was Freddie Quotes was on, and he was like, yeah, man. So in the movie, and I'm just like, like trying to like quickly, because the car is one that I don't drive this particular car very regularly, so the volume knob is like on the dash, and I didn't immediately have like the instinct
that shit happened to me as well, man.
So I was just yelling until I could find the volume thing, and then I was just like, "Bop, mute off." Like,
dude, the exact same thing happened to me. I was in the car, and Toby started talking about the conference, and I'm just like, la 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 la. Like, just
you mean the movie?
Yeah, the movie. Talking about the movie, and I had to just.
Yeah, man, it's high risk shit.
Yeah,
I can't see us getting it down in Oz anytime soon, guys. I don't think there's any affiliated.
Well,
dude,
tic tac.
No,
we're gonna have to. You go.
Tic Tac reckons that she's got connections that could help, and so we've got people in every city that are willing to like host. So for here in Perth, it would be like you and me.
There'd be about 10 people that
Tic
would
Tac.
do it in.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then so she looked, and the parent company doesn't actually, that Cine, whatever it is, doesn't actually have cinemas in Australia.
Yeah.
So it'd be up to us to find like some kind
partner
of
or something,
collab partnership shit.
Yeah.
But that's what they've done when they announced the UK ones. It's not Regal; it's some other company that they've got who got distribution. Yeah,
Cool.
they've announced it's going to be happening. So there'll be the same thing in Australia. There's just about coming up with a deal.
By the way, 43, we will see it at some point, because at some point it will go globally able to be watched on the internet, like shortly.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of time. It's more just like whether we want the cinema experience and to see it sooner.
True.
Yeah. Yep. So if there is anyone out in the community that.
Oh yeah, Jackson, drop it, please. Yeah. Let's manifest that shit.
Yeah. If there's someone in the community that thinks they've got a connection to the cinema industry,
a distributor would be the way to go.
Yeah, any sort of in that you think you've got, let us know. Let's get it to the highest stakes team. And see what we can do. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I want to shout out to Dingo Wolf here. He's just said 43. I don't thank you enough for close to 3 years. Every Tuesday night, you've given me something to look forward to. Thanks, bro. Thank you for showing up every single week, Dingo Wolf. It's much appreciated. You guys in the chat are what make this, all of us coming on stream, make it worthwhile for us. I think Tangent, Bluey, Jexy, you'll all agree that the people in the chat are what make it a fun experience for us as well. So
for sure.
A big thank you to you guys as well.
Yeah, we wouldn't come up here every Tuesday night if there weren't people joining us. Maybe we would, but it's a lot more fun.
Would. Yeah.
I checked out that website. Remember we had the Bitch Tits website. It's still there.
Oh, the form.
The form is still there.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
Google. That's one thing Google's reasonable at is like storing data forever.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
They've got some. There is some feature where you can ask them to remove all your data. I just couldn't see it happening. I couldn't imagine that if you press the delete all my data button, that your data's gone. It's gotta be something.
Dude. I
There's
reckon.
no way in hell.
I reckon. Absolutely.
Yeah. At the code level, it's called move to cold storage.
For customer support or like they'll have some reason why they have to store it for like a little bit and then they'll forget or like whatever. Yeah,
it'll be archived away somewhere.
I think they'd probably lean on the whole like, oh, legally we have to keep it for a bit in case there's some kind of like government query that some wrongdoing occurred. So yeah, man, it's no doubt, because that's their whole business model, right? Is collecting data.
Although they recently, like when YouTube, like they deleted a number of Bitcoin streamers' content. Like Max.
I heard about that, but I don't know who.
Well, Max
Kaiser.
Yeah, they deleted like 20 years of his show or something like that.
20 years.
Dude, he's been teeing off for the longest time, bro. He's literally just been parking up outside of banks, putting the fucking tee in between two slabs of concrete and just like slicing golf balls through their windows for like literally decades.
Yeah. Richard Hart, and if people don't know, Richard Hart was actually on his show back in the day. I'm just wondering whether that was one of the videos that was deleted. I mean, hopefully someone will have a copy of that one.
That's actually devastating because I've always liked Kaiser's like crazy
antics.
He's got those crazy antics. Yeah.
No, he's off the reservation.
Can you imagine if that's if Richard Hart is the reason?
Yeah, like he's
not really. that all of Max Kaiser's content got deleted
because he dared to have Richard Hart on. Did you guys think, as the question from
if we thought we'd be here 3 years later? You know, I kind of did. I thought when I was making a stake that I was in for a 15-year journey at the least. And I didn't know if it'd be streaming for that whole time, obviously. No. Like, who knows what happens. But
I honestly didn't think I'd be streaming at all. Like that was
me neither.
I think I don't know if you guys all remember the first time you ever jumped on a stream, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and you just put your face up on the internet and you don't know how it all works and don't know whether you're going to get it right or... it takes a little bit of courage to get up there and do that the first time, I think. Once you do it once, then it gets easier, but it definitely wasn't something I've seen myself ever doing.
I still remember my first stream, for sure.
Yeah, I remember my first stream with with OG43 and Unwrecked, because they chucked their link in the Telegram, and I didn't tell them I was coming on or anything. I just appeared. And that was
because we only had one viewer back then. We only had 1 or 2 viewers. And that one viewer decided to come on.
And I actually scouted you, Tangent. I actually saw your show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bluey did. Bluey's the reason I'm on this show. He saw me on D-Live. And invited and convinced the others to let me have a space on this show. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that.
So
I'm a good talent spotter, mate.
I actually think about it every time we disagree about something. I'm kind of like, oh, this is pretty rude that I'm like disagreeing so hard against the person that literally is the reason I'm here. But
you cracked me up from day one. You just cracked me up. I just loved your streams. And on D-Live, it was even edgier. It felt like super edgy.
Yeah. I'm always more reserved when I'm on other people's channels, just out of respect. I don't just go as like ridiculous and crazy.
Yeah, you used to be great on your own. You don't do ones on your own anymore, do you?
I'm going to start doing it on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to start doing it because you can stream straight to Twitter. It's shocking to me that I haven't done it yet. I know that as soon as I find time just to test it out, then it'll be all the time. So because you can just literally, you can get a stream link from Twitter and you just put it into your streaming shit and it literally just streams you to Twitter. And because I'm blue check, it's like you don't have as much time restriction. I think you can pretty much go as long as you want and as high res as you want. So it's
I would argue from an outreach point of view and getting access to more eyeballs, I reckon Twitter's probably going to be much better than YouTube. YouTube, you tend to get very pigeonholed and you're in a bit of an echo chamber. At least you've got on Twitter, it's quite easy to reach out and drag other people in because it is such a
potential for getting silenced and stuff is worse on YouTube. But the only thing I was thinking is, you know how when you're on YouTube, or someone can come to the channel and all your videos are there in like a grid and in date order and stuff. On, you know how Twitter Spaces and just your tweets in general just get buried into the TL flow that is Twitter. If that happens with your videos, that might be a bit sad because it will mean that someone who genuinely wants to go and see your previous content might find it very difficult to do so.
I don't think it'll be. I reckon what you'll probably find will end up happening is much like if I go to your profile, I can see your tweets, I can see your tweets and replies, or can you just have a video
section?
Hopefully, hopefully they do, but they don't do that for Spaces. Like there's no tab that you can click on to see like all my Spaces. They just get buried, I think.
Yeah,
I could be wrong about that.
Hey, what do you think of this this comment from Buck? Bit of a spoiler. trolling. By the way, Buck,
we know that's not true. We know that's not true because RG3 said there was no nudity.
Where's my $300 donation, bro? I see you donating all that fat cash.
Yeah. Bro, did you hear that he dropped like a G?
No, I'm joking. By the way, you can't donate on this channel anyway. It's disactivated, but still, every time I see Adam Stokes, it's just Buck is just like giving him like $300 at a time. Man.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, you actually cannot donate on this channel. It's deactivated on purpose.
Adam actually invited him on, but he said he could only come on if he showed his face, which I don't think he's going to do.
Who?
Adam Stokes. He invited him on, but he said
Buck wants to maintain a level, and I get that. Like,
that's fair enough.
I'm thinking if I could probably go back in time, I would have also done that as well. And now, especially with AI, what you could have. So, Buck, you could consider this an option, or anyone who's in the similar position where you're like, I don't want my face associated with crypto for privacy reasons. What you can do is you can get these AI avatars. And so I could be sitting here and the camera's recording me, all my facial expressions, all my movements, but it gets ported into an avatar that you can make it look however you want. So rather than it just being like an still image
before AI,
it's like face encryption.
You could do it with like Snapchat filters.
Yeah, but it's just better with AI. It's better with AI though. Like,
bro,
so you look like Max Headroom, and then
it's never going to be as. It's never going to be as. Yeah. Look,
well, you could also just put it, and you could also just put a bucket on your head.
You raise 43. You raise an interesting point because I have noticed that in my deep diving on AI, so my AI journey terminated abruptly the day that the SEC cut my fucking net wealth in half, and I went into damage control and just like have been focused purely on crypto ever since. But prior to that, I was spending like probably 70% of my time, maybe 80, on AI shit. And that came up to me where some of the tools to do with graphics and audio and shit like that, I'm like, is AI actually involved in this? Or I swear tools like this existed before AI. Like you don't actually need AI for this particular tool set. But this graphical tool set is not necessarily AI. But now everything just gets called AI. It's like AI image thingo, AI background removal, AI this, AI that, AI website. Some of the ones I looked at that are AI website creation, to me, I don't actually think they use AI. It's just like
it's machine learning.
It's just like you just type the shit in and it just like creates the website based off a template. So I would like to know the level of AI that's actually being involved in those things, because some of them I think it is they're just like cryptos were doing, where cryptocurrencies were whacking AI on that shit, and their shit had nothing to do with AI. So we'll see.
Just wear a bucket on your head, Tangent. Just like the guy that Blue Bum interviewed a couple of years ago. Remember that guy? Bluey?
Did you guys see the bucket head?
He's still on Twitter.
There was a UK guy that ran for Parliament with a bin on his head. Did you guys not? Did you guys not see that? He went against the guy who has that London Reel. You know that guy? He's like, he might be a scammer. Like there was all this shit that CoffeeZilla did about him being a scammer. And
really?
one of his opponents, it was this Binnington or some shit. Like, let me look it up.
I actually saw that London Real guy. I signed up for his stuff. Like I didn't pay any money or anything, but I signed up and sending him emails saying, because he was going to like start teaching people about DeFi, and I was like writing to him saying, dude, I can teach you a lot of stuff. Like you got to get in contact with me, kind of thing. Like,
he didn't reply.
I can help you out. No, and never contacted me, and just sends me spam to this day, and in like tons of spam. And I've tried like getting rid of it, and it just keeps coming. That guy's a spam king.
Woohoo! Super chat, $300. Come on, guys. I think someone can do better than that.
Wait, that's pretty baller that he didn't even include a comment. Just lays the money down with no shield, no attempt to get attention.
Yo, just the I've got a feeling this money is through the door. Rich stream tonight.
Yeah, people are going to keep laying it down.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some.
Throw your virtual super chats in the channel. Uncapped as well.
Did you want to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with the PayPal thing that happened?
Oh yeah, I found out from 43. I found out from 43's post on Twitter. 5555.
So,
you missed a 5, bro. You cheap fuck.
Yes, Brenton. Brenton can't even give us like 4 5.
4 5.
Come on, bro.
Couldn't even give us fake properly.
Hey, I've got a tweet from Alex I want to bring up as well, because it's another like very cryptic tweet from Alex.
Can you imagine if that had been real money and I said that? Like you could not get away with that fucking comment if it was real money.
He's taking it back already.
Can't take it back.
No clawbacks.
It's immutable.
This is the immutable YouTube blockchain.
Must be
sorry,
speak from Adelaide.
Go Bluey on the what was he saying? Alex had an announcement or something?
Yeah, like I've shared the screen, OG. 43.
Did you just slide a burn on Adelaide in there? Like
Fiat did. Yeah.
Radley.
All right. There we go.
So, I mean, Alex is the king of kind of cryptic tweets where he's kind of like hinting at what he's working on, but we try to work it out. So he's tweeted unification. Imagine a token on one chain could be used on another. It literally doesn't matter which one you hold. A bridge is then just a method of traversal where you want to transact. You do X here or there, doesn't matter. Do X where you want the result of your actions to occur.
So it would be good to see something like that happen, because it would get rid of a big issue in the community, or a divide in the community. So it'd be nice to see it happen just from that point of view. Obviously, the benefit of doing it all on PulseChain would be fantastic, but I think just the bringing together of the two systems again would be a very interesting outcome.
So maybe it's kind of like a contract that you make where you have, like if you have some HEX on one chain and if you have HEX on another chain, but then you have a contract that basically controls both of those. So whatever you do is going to happen on the other one or something like that.
I don't know how you would do it. Like he's obviously got something he's got up his sleeve there. I can't think of a way how you would do it. But he's a pretty clever fella, so I wouldn't write the idea off.
But that comment but that comment, if you want the shit done over here, then just do it over here. That's not how a bridge works, because you have to start where you are and get there.
Yeah.
Like that. It's almost like, yeah, bro, that would make sense if I was already in the right spot. But that's the whole problem I'm trying to solve, is I'm not in the right spot.
No. I think
am I misreading that shit?
I could be heading down the wrong path. I think it would be a case of, okay, if you want to do all your transactions on PulseChain because it's cheaper and more affordable, then you take your HEX that's on ETH, bridge it across, and then there's a contract or some mechanism there where you can pay the low fees and do your stakes and everything on there, but it replicates it somehow on Ethereum.
On the ETH chain.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how it does that. That's what I can't figure, is
which one
connect there.
Yeah, right.
So you get the benefit of the lower fees. We can't hear you, Tangent. You get the benefit of the lower fees, but you don't have to give.
Yes. So this is ability to stake EHEX over on PulseChain, potentially not a bridge to get the shit over. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And obviously, I guess it must be third party, right? Because
if Alex is doing it, it's probably not. If Alex is doing it, it's probably like his max decentralization.
No, sorry. I mean third party from the original HEX code, because you can't force EHEX into the PHEX contract. So it'd have to be like a mirroring of that system. Oh, wait, actually you can't, because he doesn't have the ability to issue EHEX. Anyway, we'll wait until he actually releases it rather than trying to work it out.
Yeah. Don't know. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. If he solves that, that's going to be a pretty big deal, not just for our chain and ecosystem, but for crypto in general. He's got some way he's doing that.
So what are we waiting on at the moment? We're waiting on some things. We're waiting on HEX Scout, which I think is imminent.
Yeah,
I believe HEX Scout is imminent, right? So I'm interested to see what's involved in that. Something else that came out this week that I haven't heard many people talking about is GoPulseX.com. So that's a new
DEX aggregator.
It's a new DEX aggregator.
Oh, is that a DEX aggregator? Right.
So how many DEXs do we have now on PulseChain? So we've got Bucks. Fucks.io. No,
Fucks? Yeah, Fucks.io.
That's so interesting.
PHUX.io. PHUX.io. We've got PulseX. We've got
Swap. Easy Swap.
Oh, you guys want to know the DEXs? It's Pulse Rate is one of so there's yield farms that don't actually have their own swapping protocol, don't have their own LPs, so we won't include those. For the ones that actually have their own LPs, it's Easy Swap, Pulse Rate, PulseX, and Fux. And
Daytona, is that a swap?
No. They don't have their own LPs. They reward people who are providing LP on PulseX.
Right.
This new one.
Yeah, that's the aggregator though. 43. So
that's
Velocimeter actually has their own LPs as well. So the way you can tell is you go to either Gecko Terminal or you go to Dex Screener, and you look up the top when you click on PulseChain and you look up the top, and those ones that are listed there, it means they have their own LPs. If it's a yield farm, so the other yield farms like YieldX, Chirp, Daytona, and I think there's maybe one other one, they are incentivizing you to provide LP on PulseX.
So when we go to Dex Screener and they're showing us a chart, are they taking the aggregation of all of the different LPs, or are they just
no? It's per pair.
So, and you can't see the specific. You can't see the specific. Like you can't see Fux on Dex Screener.
Not yet.
Right.
Not yet, but you can on Gecko Terminal. Gecko Terminal does list all the Fux pools, the multi-asset pools. Dex Screener are still trying to work out how to do it. So they want to. They just haven't done it yet. So if you want to see Fux pools, head over to Gecko Terminal.
Fux.
By the way, this is very interesting to me that the 3 dexes that they've decided to start with over here, I assumed it would be PulseX V1, V2, and Fux. It's not. The 3rd dex that they've got on here is EasySwap.
Mm-hmm.
That's although actually, sorry, that's probably just for that. Does it matter what coins I choose?
You know what people haven't been doing on? You know what people haven't been doing on Fux is just having just like 2 pairs, like your average 2 pairs, like USD whatever against something else.
Oh, there
like
must be, dude. Something there must.
There's hardly any.
Someone
most of them are all multiple pools because the ones they're rewarding are there's a few like they're Fux or whatever, but there's not many. And the beauty about Fux is that you can set the fee, so you can set it as 1%. So if you have a coin that
per your position, you can set the fee you want to charge for your liquidity. Is that
the
fee?
Yeah. So if you've got an obscure token that you want to do liquidity against, it's better off putting it on Fux because then you can set a much higher liquidity fee than on PulseX.
Interesting.
It's but still all V2.
I think maybe
once you set that,
thinking to do it.
Once you set that pool,
you decide who's going to be. You can set an address who's going to have control over being able to change it.
Right. Okay.
What they don't have yet is a front end for being able to change that fee. Like you can change that fee. There is ways to change that fee, but they don't. There's not an easy way to change that fee at the moment.
Because could that be a bit of an issue if someone comes along and says, "Okay, I'm going to take a USDC and Pulse, and I'm going to create a pair, and I'm going to put the fee at 10%." Then that screws that pool for anyone else because it's not going to be competitive in the market. But then no one else can set up a pool with the 2 assets.
No. You can set. You can make your own pool. Just name it something. Just name it something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's no restriction.
Every time you're making up a pool, you're making up a new contract.
Right.
Which is that pool. Yeah.
So you can compete. You can create one. You can do different splits. You can weight the pools so that you don't. It doesn't have to be 50-50. I think Bluey, probably the reason why people haven't done it is because it hasn't been advertised like that. People see it as multi-asset pools, and so when they go to do them, they're thinking multi-asset. Like that's just the mindset they're there with. But Bluey is absolutely right. You absolutely can just do 2 assets,
and you could do it 50-50, or you can do it weighted to one side or the other. And that's that would be really good to like speak to someone about the strategies about why you would weight like 80% over 20%. Or like
one of the reasons is because tokens print their own money out of thin air, but they can't print the native token out of thin air. So by weighting it to one side, it means that the project with their fake ass fraud coin can have like you could do like 80-20 or 90-10, and then it just you've got more economic energy in the pool by having the token that they literally didn't pay anything for because they pulled it out.
So you do 80 Pulse, 20% of your shitcoin. So
no, other way around.
Oh, the other way around.
Other way around.
Okay.
So 20% Pulse, 80 or 90 or however 95 whatever percent of your worthless. I literally clicked a button to make this supply fraudulent, fucking printed it out of thin air shitcoin.
Or something that's maybe not as bad as what you just described.
or something that is slightly less fraudulent. Yes. No, I'm being a fuckhead. I'm being really super rude. But that's the way. But that's the truth of the matter, right? Is that these teams literally print this fucking shit out of thin air. So they've got unlimited supply of that. But the real thing that they can't just print out of thin air is the thing that they're pairing it to that actually gives it value, whether it's Pulse or some other asset that they have to buy. And so I guess, it's that's just one of the advantages of having those weighted pools, by the way.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, we're still very much in the early days of the chain in terms of what we've got is really the skeleton of a blockchain. we've started to get all the initial things, your DEXs and things like that come on board, but there's still a whole raft of other things that are yet to be released, which I think they will be. That's going to, when we get a few of those things released, so obviously the big thing is get the Oracle up and running properly, and then all these other teams can launch a few of their things. That will bring a whole nother wave of engagement and excitement, I think, because there are going to be a lot of things you can do with those new tools as well, which will.
What do you think is going to happen when liquid loans comes out? You reckon people are going to start leveraging up?
Dude, I can't wait for liquid loans.
I think they will do it. I think they will do it cautiously, but yeah, I think they will. That's what it's all about, and that's what I'm saying. That'll reinvigorate a lot of the transactions on chain, and then you got the Power Cities version as well. So that gives PulseX another form of utility where it can be, you can lend against it and then go put it to work. And so
I've kind of changed my mind a little bit, actually. Like, I agreed with them at first where I'm like, yep, it's better to like wait until the chain is like more stable. And then they were like, oh, lucky we didn't launch because of this big crash, shit like that. But it's like, the volatility is never going away. You can't switch that off, and you can't wait until there's going to be no volatility. All you could do is have a fat ass warning on the thing that says, yo, like, this is the danger. Like, are you aware of this? Accept. If you accept this, you understand the risks, and then let people use the protocol. Like, so I think, I think delaying any further for like, because the chain is like not. Plus the fact that after this latest 50% drop, it's like, how much lower can it go? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So that's, well, there's two things that come out of that. You have had that dramatic pullback, which a lot of people thought would happen anyway. That's just the way projects launch. So that's fine. We've had that wash out, but there's the realization that, okay, if I'm too aggressive with the way I set these vaults up, I'll get blitzed, because they can look at a chart and go, okay, well, I've just seen how fast this can move on news. So it serves as a good warning, I think, that everyone, if you're looking at a chart and you're still being risky with these tools.
Like a very recent, in everyone's mind, real world, it really happened, so be careful. Great point.
Like, if there was liquid loans, how many people would have been liquidated? I mean,
people would have been like, it'll be fine. This is basically the floor. We're not going to go below base sacre, and then like boots.
But also, they might be happy they had it, because they've got all this USDC equivalent.
There's no. That's right. Yeah.
I think Bluey. I think a very small number of people will be using it in that way.
Right.
I think most people will be aiming to not get liquidated. By the way, there's a cost involved. There's a cost involved in getting liquidated that's not pretty.
Right.
Oh, it's like 9%.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it depends what chain you're on.
Yeah. So I think at different times in the market, people will use the tool differently. So as you're coming into a bull, they will be careful in the way they do their leveraging and things like that, because no one wants to lose their bag when there's upside potential. But as we get to the tail end of a bull market, that's when people will probably start to leverage it right up, because that's a stop loss for them then. So there'll be different ways to use it at different times and with different amounts of your portfolio, for sure.
I just can't wait to have a native stablecoin. We're basically just using all this bridged garbage.
Well, we've kind of got to see it. Well,
that brings up DAO shit.
Yeah. They're going to be restricting VPNs or something, hey? Or what is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
the sooner
we get the Uniswap founders' bank account got closed by JP Morgan.
True.
Good.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
Good. Fuck them.
Okay. All right. No. So can we do a little segue then on?
Can I just get a quick answer on what Fetch is? Like Benny G said, Fetch is
Oracle
change it. Okay.
Oracle. That's the Oracle that liquid loans are going to be using / supporting.
It's a rebranded version of Teller. Native to the chain.
Yeah. Go for what you were saying then, Jex.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject of the stable coins and you're saying Hayden Adams is getting his accounts closed and things like that. 43. If you just bring up that screen, and hopefully I don't get bumped off. see how we go. You still with us, 43? Yep.
I just see a blank screen.
Man, I shits itself every time I'm on stream.
Blank screen.
Yeah, god damn it. I thought that was fixed. Anyway, so basically I just had a bit of the news kicking around at the moment is the whole PayPal launching their stablecoin. Yeah, which is in effect, well, not in effect, it actually is launched by Paxos. So the underlying issuer is Paxos, which was the same company that was responsible for BUSD, so Binance's version of the coin. So we've literally seen Binance get
shut out
of the US.
Good point. I heard about this.
Had their stable coin pulled for no good reason. There was no accusation that it wasn't fully collateralized or anything.
So the PayPal could take their lunch.
Exactly. So
to use the same freaking provider, dude. To use the same that's
use the same provider. It gets worse though, right? So they're using, it's issued by Paxos, so same risks and same issues as what BUSD would have had. I think Gensler and his cronies have come after CZ deliberately to get him out of the US. So they've attacked his exchange to get him out of the US, and that's made space for Paxos to reissue this under the guise of PayPal. And what I was going to bring up is when you actually go and have a look at who's on the team at Paxos. Let me just go about. So there's two notable hires there. So Brian Stern. So he is the former head of private markets at BlackRock and the US Department of Treasury. So there you go. And the other one, Scott Malpass, I think it is. His pedigree is from Vanguard. So they're
BlackRock and Vanguard.
Yeah. So that sort of gives you a bit of a look into. Where the it's getting driven from.
It's the join us stage, hey?
Well, yeah. So they're basically forcing players out of the system to make room for the BlackRocks and things like that. So this will all tie into the
attempt to co-opt us stage.
Oh yeah,
but
it's exactly.
But hang on, I just want to jump in here. PayPal have a history of freezing people's assets, so this is no different to anything that they've done in the past. This is the same. This is So, but their code allowed them to do that previously anyway. So
exactly. Yeah.
I don't think what this does is it familiarizes. So I wouldn't use it personally, right? I would not use it. It's not for me. No thank you,
dude.
Right? But people who do use it are going to feel like they're using the blockchain, and maybe that brings them one step closer. So maybe,
I totally agree with that. Yeah. No, I agree from an adoption point of view. It's obviously good. It's eyeballs. It's putting digital currencies in front of people, and they're going to be able to actually move
and hopefully
these out
it pumps
to an external wallet. So
and hopefully it pumps Ethereum, and then pumps.
That's a good thing. It's built on so they've built it on Ethereum. So their smart contracts are on Ethereum. That's a good thing. I think it's just there's definitely a move.
No.
We're probably not going to use it.
No one here should.
I guess
no one. I would not advise.
But people are going to be able to pay. People are going to be able to buy crypto with PayPal, and also PayPal is a payments provider. So people are going to be able to buy stuff, and it immediately comes out of their crypto, of their stablecoin that they have there.
Yeah. So and they're saying you can move it to an external address, and there's multitudes of fees that go along with doing all of this. So they've heavily inserted themselves into the middle of all these transactions, as you know they would, and the fees are not necessarily cheap, but there's quite a lot of fees in it. If you're doing very small amounts, it equates to like 10%. If you're doing larger amounts, it's about 1.5%. So that's a clip you're taking on a lot of your fee, a lot of your transactions already. They'll let you put it into an external wallet, but is that an external wallet that they create, or is that an external wallet that
you have
choose.
control over.
Yeah. So it's
So
going to be
do we
interesting
get
to see how
to-
that.
We get to troll these PayPal users now. We get to troll them into using
Send them
real
some
crypto.
airdrops and things. So there's a lot of good that's going to come from this, but the thing that concerns me is all the maneuvering that's going on in the background with the BlackRock and their ETFs, and now these guys they're taking over what is arguably one of the biggest payment providers on the planet, and shoehorning their way into the industry that way. So it's good and bad. I guess there's
no bueno. Yeah, it's good and bad. There's good and bad.
Yeah.
I think,
of course,
I'm hoping it pumps our bags. I'm hoping it pumps our bags.
And we should also mention Coast at this stage, okay? Because now there is a direct kind of like token on the PulseChain, which is a on and off ramp for straight to Pulse, which is CST. And I think you need to. It's still you have to KYC up the wazoo, but they've got their hands tied in terms of that. But it's another option, hey, for onboarding straight to Pulse instead of having to go through ETH.
Yeah, the only bit of pushback I've seen from people is Coaster asking for your tax file number, which is probably.
But if that's going to happen with any exchange that you register on in Australia.
No. I've never given
tax file number. Tax file number.
Never.
You don't?
Why tax file number?
No.
Well, I
don't even have to.
I thought
you don't. Don't even have to do it at a bank if you don't want.
I thought as part of the KYC you had to give your tax file number for Australian exchanges, but they definitely give all of that info to the ATO. Like they give all of whatever you've sold, any capital gains you've made to the ATO.
Let's face it, mate. You're KYCing anyway, so it's not a big task for them to take the ID documents you've given them and match that with your profile on the ATO. So having the tax file number, it's just an optics thing. Personally, I don't think you shouldn't be giving it across.
I don't like it.
It's just more data. It's more data that's getting held with someone else.
I just don't. Exactly. That's the issue right there. That's what you're saying right there is the issue, which actually reminds me of a clip I had, because what we've seen in the last couple of weeks is a lot of stuff to do with like banks locking down people's ability to transfer more than $10,000 per month into exchanges. So, and it it makes you question, how much of this money is actually mine to do what I want with. So I had a clip which is actually from about 5 or 6 years ago that I wanted to play, but you guys, I'll bring that up and see if I can play that. Give me a couple of minutes.
So Tin Top's just said that the slippage is awful on the liquidity for CST. It's going to happen until we get more people using it and getting it out in the ecosystem. And maybe we can bolster that a little bit when we start getting some more stable coins that can maybe help out. But reality is if you want that to be tradable, you're going to need to incentivize that somehow. I think we've got to give them a bit of time to get their legs with this thing. They've done a good job. They've worked hard on it. We've just got to.
Oh, sounds like it's a massive job. Yeah.
So it's just got to usher it in, and if you get support, that's when you'll see the slippage reduce.
Yeah. I really hope it works out for them because of all the work they've been putting into it.
Yeah, I think the more we have, the more options we have that are trusted options. That's good for the ecosystem.
I kind of really do feel like the things like liquidity on ETH and what liquid loans will be on their stable coins might be the safest ones around.
I think they are.
If you want to hold stables.
Yep. Yeah, I guess if you've got no if you're not taking loans and things like that, you're just holding the stable coins, so you've got no exposure, then they're I can tell you what, when there was a lot of shit going on with stable coins, I held a lot of mine in liquidities.
Liquidity.
Yeah, in liquidities version. Yeah.
Just in relation to this question by Paul Sachs, I'm not even sure that there would need to be a fork. BISC is... I
don't even know what that is, man. What's BISC?
I don't know.
BISC is a P2P, like it's P2P software.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually software you have on your computer, and it's like peer-to-peer, like swaps and stuff, exchange. You can list stuff and
so like local Bitcoins or local Monero kind of thing.
Sort of, but it would be more like coin to coin type thing. So I'm not sure that they'd need to build a fork. Maybe they just need to. I mean, if you can use it with Ethereum,
they just need to accept.
Maybe they just need
peer-to-peer technology, guys.
It's P2P.
Peel-to-peel technology.
I don't know what that is.
Hey, does anyone talking about peeling? Does anyone know the story
behind
that
orange thing, right?
Yeah, the HOA. What the hell's going on there? It's like
just a meme coin that someone's created.
So it's just a meme coin, right? Orange.
Just a meme coin. Just a meme coin. Dude, these guys lit Twitter up. They turned people against their own psyche. Like, as in, it was kind of like this thing where if you're pro Richard Hart or if you're anti Richard Hart, you still have a reason to love this coin. It's like they've just memed the shit out of everything to just explode on Twitter and just go completely viral. Like I'll admit that I've taken sort of like a favorable attitude towards their group because one, their group, the Tang Gang, sounds like it was named after me. So rumors started that it was like my community, the Tang Gang. And like I kind of like that, even though we'll leave that open to people's interpretation. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And there was this thing where on the day one of the conference, I was wearing an orange hat. And so they just started memeing the shit out of me. And now I'm a sticker in their group, which is like me wearing this hat, holding an orange with those thug life glasses on. And so, like I leaned a little bit into their community, nothing where I was going to like lose balance or whatever. And they embraced me so well and so nicely that I was able to lean in further without falling over. So yeah, I find, look, some people got really upset though. Some people got really upset that I was accidentally wearing an orange hat on the first day, which by the way, it would be more likely that I was supporting Bitcoin wearing something orange than a coin that I hadn't heard of. But the point is that I've thought about this a bit and it's like, what do we want for the chain, right? What do we want for the chain? We want adoption. We want transaction volume. So the people that are invested in PulseX, you want more volume so that the coins burn, so the price can go up. For the people that want PulseChain to succeed, you want people to hear about PulseChain. You want people to come over. This thing has probably done like bang for buck, like effort to result has probably had a better ratio of bringing people to PulseChain in mind share, right, than anything else I've seen. It has brought together all of these non-HEX communities like Chia and NFT bros and Bitcoiners and shit to at least have their attention drawn to PulseChain. And then while they're there, they actually see the effect of low fee shit. They're like, oh yeah, you couldn't have done that there was like someone airdropped their token to everyone that was holding this HOA token. And then people that weren't even part of PulseChain were like, oh, holy shit, you would absolutely not be able to do that on Ethereum. So it's like, I've only seen positives from this so far.
Hang on. So can you just go back a step? What is it about the meme which is like attractive to all of these different groups?
Accident, dude. It is like, you know how you can't plan virality? Sometimes someone just makes a video of them, like them with their dog, and someone says some shit and someone does some shit, and then suddenly everyone on the internet has seen it. But it was not planned. They weren't like, hey, let's make a viral video today. Like, you can't do that. We've found you can't do that. This just happened to be the one that took off. Like
HOA. And what does it stand for?
HOA.
And
Hex,
it's the orange,
Hex orange.
The Hex,
The Hex
orange
address.
Orange address.
The
Yeah,
Hex
yeah.
Orange address. Orange.
So they're
I don't have my,
okay.
I
So
don't have my
it's
orange
kind of
one.
just right.
So the Hex
And
orange
it's just,
address.
and it's taken
So
off.
You know,
And they're
So
airdropping it.
their marketing's working very well because you've got this show talking about it.
Yeah.
well,
Totally.
Corey Costa is actually going to have cookies on his show to talk about meme culture, internet culture, and specifically this HOA coin. So
there's something really honest. There's something really honest about memes. It's really kind of like it's an acknowledgement that everything is a meme. And so if everything is a meme, regardless of how much utility your bloody token has, we're just going to like lean into that, or something.
I think
I've thought about this. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, I think the problem with a lot of this is unless you're in the in group at the beginning, you're the exit liquidity on all of this shit.
Yeah.
And
unless it keeps going.
Theoretically, people say that about any coin, right? Like, so look, this one did have like a massive rise at the start of the chart, but I looked at the volumes and it didn't look like very many people actually bought low. Like, so it went up very quickly. Within the first like less than day, it had already done 4 million%, which was basically very few people buying the price up.
But you got
it's got all the locked liquidity shit. So I think it was like, I don't want to quote percentages because I haven't been in the community long enough to know the stats, but it's like, they would be able to tell you what the deal is. And it's like some high percentage of the initial print has been locked into LP. So it's like that shit can't get dumped on you in terms of that. So now it's kind of becoming a necessity. People expect that to occur, that the majority of the coins need to be locked in LP or...
I don't think that's the case.
You just send it to a burn address. You just create the LP and send it to a burn address.
There's a small group of people that hold a large amount of token supply. They can dump that.
I don't think that's the case.
Well,
are you talking about the person who did the initial print?
No. I'm talking about the people that get in the first hour.
So I guess you could look at all that on chain. I haven't yet.
I haven't.
Look at what tell us then. Tell us.
Well, there's the rate at which you purchased initially has given people big positions for very small amounts.
Okay.
Dollar-wise.
So what are the top wallets, like percentage-wise, roughly?
I think one of them might have been, don't quote me on it now, but when I thought I could be wrong, it was something like 15% or 5%. And then there was a lot of 2s and 3s and things like that. So...
And this is a wallet that's not the original generator.
Not the deployer. They're not the deployers. These are people that are...
But it could be the same guy theoretically, but just in a different...
Oh, it could be the same guy, but it's obviously the people that know about this initially get the lion's share of the coins. So that's why you get...
It's like 50, it's like 30 or 40 people or 50 people at the most who probably like got in like that.
Yeah. That's right. So
I guess this is the age-old question that it's like, it's never going to be a truly fair distribution. Like, and you've got to, and I don't know if the Richard Hart defense really applies here in terms of that it's not a problem when you have people,
no, but
that's why then it actually solves tragedy of the commons or something like that.
I know
like,
exactly what Louis was thinking just then.
That's why the AA
what you were thinking, Bluey.
Yeah, say it.
But before we go down that rabbit hole though, that's why the AA was designed the way it was, so that there was that more even distribution. Now you're obviously going to get whales come in and buy up large amounts, but they can't do it all in one day. And if they do, they get penalized. If more people shovel in one day, they actually got less tokens. So you have this year-long event where people can come in and buy, and it evens out that distribution.
Yeah, apparently even I'm pumping it.
Oh, you've got orange, dude. You've got orange behind you, bro. Dude. This was the craziest thing, bro. This was the fucking craziest thing. Me, you, and one of my other guests. I think it was
and my tin can. Hey,
you deployed it, didn't you?
Wait, I think it was Thoughtschild. But I apologize if I've got the wrong person. So myself and two of my guests had orange flavored drinks on the conference. And I swear it was you and me and one other. I think it was Thoughtschild was the third. So three of us had orange flavored drinks, and I swear, 43, back me up on this, unplanned. And people were losing their minds, bro, on both sides. You had the Tang gang losing their shit, thinking that we were promoting their coin, and then you had the Hex maxis being like, "Fuck you guys! How dare you shield this?"
By the way,
we're just in the middle going, why are there so many oranges being shielded in the chat, and why are these guys calling me a scammer?
I shield my Sweps blood orange and mango every single week. I shill it, right?
Dude,
I shill it every week. And let me just say, I do not have anything to do with whatever this shit is about, like oranges and stuff. I got nothing to do with it. I don't own
and
any
I didn't
of
at
it.
the time.
I have nothing to do with it, right? So I find it all 43, very funny.
43's got an amazing defense here because he drinks the same drink every fucking week before you guys even created the Tang gang.
And I've had the same cushion. I've had the same cushion for like a year. So
yeah. So I mean, look, holder shit is always like something that can be a concern in terms of like someone like dumping on you or using you as extra liquidity or whatever, but it can be seen on chain, arguable. But from what I've seen, so I've thought about this on multiple levels, and I'm like, this idea of having something where you're like, it's not a coin that's trying to do any shit, it's just a joke, does actually afford you some additional there's something to be said about like how, so you guys remember the meme stocks of like, GME and AMC, I think it was, and those sorts of things.
Okay.
It was
like hitting the
one of their defenses, and by the way, that was in Legacy where shit gets real in terms of like that you're promoting or coordinating as a group to try and manipulate markets or whatever, was their defense, which ultimately held up, is you are allowed to get on fucking line and like joke around and say, I like the stock. You're not allowed to coordinate and say, let's take down banks and fuck up hedge funds that are short, but you are allowed to say, I like the stock. So it's kind of like, that's kind of what's going on here. It's like everyone's in there genuinely saying, we're just making memes, we're just having fun. And by the way, it actually is fun. It's probably one of the most fun times that I've had in crypto in any kind of like group, Telegram group shit for a long ass time. It's distracting everyone from our bags being fucking wrecked, and it actively promotes PulseChain and fucking it is actually working because they've just been bombing the shit out of Twitter. Like Twitter is just orange now. Like Elon should just change the name of it and the logo to an orange and change the fucking color to orange, like change the background, because they just did such a good job of just annihilating everyone. Pretty much every Hex influencer at a minimum has been like, what the fuck is this shit with all these oranges that are getting posted on my shit, which is what happened to me as well. And not that I consider myself an influencer, but like, yeah, it's just been wild. It's just been a wild, how many days? Like 3-4 days or something like that.
They should get a rapper. They should get a rapper to rap about orange. Because apparently orange, the word orange is a very difficult word to rap about.
Bro, they are so far ahead of that idea. They've used AI to get Drake and Snoop Dogg and Childish Gambino to rap about the fucking about the crypto in general and the coin and shit, dude. It's nuts. That they have literally been awake around the clock, creating memes, creating shit like this, using AI, bouncing ideas of how to you just go in there and get your mind blown. It's fucking crazy.
They're on Telegram,
it's
chat.
crazy. Yeah, they're on Telegram. It's called the Tang Gang, but I think the handle is like HEX orange address _official. I think. Let me just double check.
So it's only on Pulse. It's a meme coin on PulseChain, essentially.
It's a meme coin on PulseChain. That's exactly right. Only on PulseChain. It's not multi-chain. It's only on PulseChain. And like seriously, I've been eye-fucking the on-chain, and people come in there and they don't buy. They come in and just make memes. Like I've seen a lot of people come in and I don't see buys on the chart. People are genuinely just coming in there and having a fun time, right? It's not necessarily distracting economic energy. Although I don't know, man, like when Orca goes on Corey's stream, like I think that might be a turning point, but don't quote me and not financial advice and all that sort of shit.
Orca is cookies, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Orca is cookies. Yeah. Although his handle is now Gooey Orange or Orange Gooey, but he has lent so far into this thing that we had to like catch that motherfucker. Like, although I wasn't there at the time, so I'm taking credit where I don't deserve it. Like, these motherfuckers must have been doing those trust exercises where they lock hands and shit, and you fall backwards with your eyes shut. That's how off balance that motherfucker was as he leant in on this thing, man.
So I'm just looking at all the buys and sells. Wild. People are trading like literally. Like $1.04 worth and 51 cents worth.
So I don't know if there's bots. But it went to so for a few days, if you went on Dex Screener and you went PulseChain and you ranked it by transactions, it was number one by far. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 transactions in the 24-hour period. More than HEX, more than PulseChain, more than fucking PulseX. It was number one for transaction count for days. And so maybe bots, but see, the thing about bots is here's the thing about bots. A bot is like usually from a single wallet and it just goes buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So you don't get unique addressing from a bot. Like it's much harder to have a bot that actually like goes into, although maybe it's possible, I don't know. My botnet is not really a crypto botnet, it's more of a legacy botnet. So it's possible. It's possible. But yeah, man, like as in there's probably too much to list here of things where the longer I've been in this chat, I'm like, oh yeah, shit. Like this is also really cool. Oh yeah, that's also really cool. Like it's just, I had the same experience with HEX. HEX. You know how Richard was talking about those emergent qualities where it's like shit that you did not even expect. And you're like, oh, holy shit, dude. You know how they call Donald Trump the orange man?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting feedback.
There's always been a little bit just underlying. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been crazy. Like I probably sound a little bit too excited for something that I'm like not invested heavily into.
Bro, you've been going on about it for about 25 minutes.
And,
dude, this is the Tang Gang, man. It's the Tang Gang.
And can I just point out how much how much I get crucified for talking about anything other than HEX?
Oh, bro, I've been there, dude. I've been there. Everyone's been a hater. Like, sorry, not everyone. A few HEX maxis have like really tried to fucking guilt me. And do you know what I told them? Don't fucking tell me how to enjoy things. Do not tell me how to enjoy things. Like until I went into this group, shit was bleak, man. Like my fucking net wealth got cut in half a few days earlier and it was not looking good. Like I'm not saying I was in a dark place because I wasn't. I was happy as fuck and enjoying my days and having a good time and in a really positive mood and still really bullish on all the RH products. But this thing was a welcome distraction, and just seeing the amount of fucking focus and passion within the group, it just reminds me of everything that's good about crypto. And I won't have that shit taken away from me because someone thinks that like I'm not allowed to enjoy something that's not what they like and what they think is going to pump their bag. Fuck off. I am not a billboard just to spend my life promoting the things that you like. I will do my own shit. And if you don't like that, fuck off.
So in the last hour, since you've been talking about it, it's pumped 20%.
Well, look, I am not actually promoting it, by the way. So, do you know what? Dude, I was in the Telegram there were people in there that came in there to shit on me, being like, Tangent, we expected better from you. How dare you do this? Dude, this is really low for you. We respected you, but now we've lost all respect for you. Just shit that's like horrible shit. And I said that to them where I was like, don't fucking tell me what to do. I'll enjoy things the way I want to enjoy them. Someone in the Tang gang says to me, bro, why have you not been publicly promoting this? Like, it sounds like you're pretty positive about it in here. Why have you not been promoting it on Twitter? And I was like, dude, I just finished savaging these motherfuckers to tell me not to tell me how to enjoy things. And you're now I'm copying the same shit from the other. Just let me.
Bro, everyone wants to tell you what to do. Everyone wants to tell you what to do.
It's like everyone trying to tell me how to run my life. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, bro.
Now can we can you stop talking about this shit?
Bro, this last comment is not about Tangang. For an industry that was built on and prides itself on self-sovereignty and the right freedom and the right for people to do as they wish as a self-sovereign human, and with inalienable rights, that kind of shit is gross to me, that people think that they have a right to tell people how to conduct themselves, particularly when in both cases I'm still trying to do the best thing possible for PulseChain, and I'm still trying to do the best thing possible for like the community and
aside from that, who the fuck do they think they're talking to? They're talking to Tangent. You don't tell Tangent what to do. Tangent tells you what to do. Fucking
this is my psyop. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys.
There's a question here. Why? So I'm trying to understand it. Why can't Richard work on showing values in your wallet for PulseChain? It sounds like you just need to use Rabby.
Add. You need to add
Rabby.
the contract.
Check out Rabby.
Or add the contract. Custom add.
Depends what wallet you're using, I guess.
Or do they mean dollar values, maybe?
No, yeah, it just means when you go on it just means when you go on PulseX, it's in dollar what the value is in dollars as you like it. When you have the swap, it says underneath what you're trading.
But when you just like scan.pulsechain, like the block explorer.
Oh, that as well. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Because the block explorer is still like fucking rough.
Shit, man. Yeah, there are still addresses where I go to a friend's address because I want to like check out. And my friend wanted me to check out. There's nothing in there, but I know there is stuff in there. And if I go somewhere else, I can find the stuff.
If you go somewhere else, you can see it.
It's not there.
It's rough. It's fucking rough.
I guess that's us indexing. It takes a bloody long time to index a chain, though, doesn't it? Holy shit!
Sometimes when you first go to an address, it appears as though there's nothing in there, and then you give it a refresh, and
it does. Oh, okay.
I wanted to highlight something that I said earlier in passing. It's super interesting to me that they've chosen Easy Swap instead of FUX as the third DEX that they are supporting on that, because that GoPulse team, they got the shout out early from Richard. Remember that was why the other guy spat the dummy. The HEX Daily Stats guy was like, I've been grinding here for fucking years, never get donations, never get a shout out from Richard. And then these fucking guys come along, create a fucking website, and then they're getting Richard shout outs, partnerships, massive sponsors that are paying them all these like monthly revenue, donations out the arse and shit like that. So I don't know if there's any link to Richard, but it certainly has been quite they're the ones that have been bringing all the stats about the validators and the fucking buy and burn and the prices, and their website has always been like super clean. In the HEX early days, sorry to go on about this, but in the HEX early days, lots of the stats sites that were created, they were amazing for people who want to nerd out on the data, but for the like regular user who just wants to come along and go, just tell me the fucking main shit that I want to know. It wasn't but this is like exactly that. It's like for the regular user or even the tech user who just wants the like main shit they want to know. I want to know the prices. I want to know how many, I want to know key metrics of the fucking network, etc.
Yeah, I still don't know whether we've got a good unified way of checking all your stakes, and we've got patches of systems everywhere, but I don't think we've got the holy grail where you can actually easily manage things.
Well,
at this point,
isn't that coming with
Hex
Scout?
Hex Scout.
So there's Fatty.io. There's the GoPulse.com portfolio. There's and there used to be
they've been building.
And Rabby.
Ethereum.
And Rabby is pretty good. Rabby is good for just seeing it all in US dollar.
Yeah, but we've got so it's all sort of. I think the ecosystem. I think the ecosystem's just ballooned, and there's so many things you want to look at, and so many things you need to be able to be across. It's hard to put that into one tool. But what that means is we get many tools trying to do a little bit of everything rather than. So I think Hex Scout's going to be a good thing because if that's just
on Fiat.io, was it Fiat? You could or Fatty.io. You can create a portfolio. So
but you can't manage your stakes or see your interests and so
well, you can see the interest on Fatty. You can't you can't do anything. Like you have to go to app.icosa.pro to do anything.
But. So this all happened as a result of the Staker app removing.
What's happened to those guys? I haven't seen them at all. Hey, like Steph just dropped off the face.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, but they removed like you used to in the old app. You used to be able to have as many addresses in there as you could have, like 50 addresses in there.
Yeah.
And they lowered it down to I think 10 for each.
And then they lowered it right down, and then they lifted it up when everyone was complaining. So I think they went down as low as like 2 or 3, and then they raised it back up to 10 or something like that. Don't quote me.
10 is if you have a wallet. You've got to have a Gnosis Safe wallet. And then I think it's 10. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I think it's like 2 or 3 for each chain. It's for each chain. So I'm not sure if this video is going to work. So I'm going to try and play it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just throw the link in the chat and people can go watch it later on.
Like Staker app haven't tweeted anything for over a month and a half. Sorry.
Tell me if you can hear it.
Absolutely. Yes. The Australian and Swedish wars on cash are terrible, and they threaten the national security of the nations that engage in them. So if you live in Europe, you have a neighbor in this area called Russia, and every once in a while they invade their neighbors, and it's not that great. So
I can agree on that, yeah.
some Baltic countries kind of team up and run some exercises in the event that may occur. And some of you guys join NATO and hope to rely on, being a member of a larger team. And so, it's all fun and games to worry about making big returns, but every once in a while a bad thing happens and you have to be prepared for it. And if Russia or another actor attacks this nation, one of the first things that will go down is your networking. And that means you're not going to have any Bitcoin transactions, and you're not going to have your stupid cards that barely work anyway. Rub my chip. Can we do it again? This isn't even English. It sucks. It's terrible. Destroying cash, removes all the privacy from human beings, which quenches their speech. It makes it harder for people to speak truth when they're constantly monitored. The only true speech can exist when a person can speak without repercussion. And if everything that you say is monitored because you paid for it with your trackable credit card, like in the UK, if you say the wrong thing, the police knock on your door. That crap is not fostering a free and open environment and exploration of ideas. It's draconian and it's terrible. And the fact that you guys are removing cash is just basically removing national security in the event of network being down. Now you guys can't use taxis anymore because you don't have a working currency because you went purely digital in a world where digital doesn't work half the time. I mean, a UK bank just had its ATMs and cards down for several weeks, and it was a rather large bank. So cash is important. It's important for privacy. It's important for free speech. It's important so that you don't have to have your eyeballs on what my diet behaviors are if I'm insured, right? I don't need my health insurance premiums modified on your draconian monitoring of how I use my credit card. They all lose the data anyway. Everything you capture will be lost. So I hate the fact that you guys hate cash. It really bothers me. You guys and Australia.
So yeah.
It's after
we need
being,
cash.
so I've after doing my little holiday recently, a couple of takeaways
I
I've
can't hear you
seen.
guys. Oh yeah, there we go.
So after doing my little holiday recently, a couple of things I noticed. So cash getting very, very hard to use. Even in the UK, can't get on a bus and pay cash. You have to tap your credit card to get on there now. Literally, we got on there and had a couple of kids with me, and they said, "Oh no, you've got to pay with card." And I said, "Oh shit, okay." So I tapped the card and I said, "Come on, kids, let's go on. Can you give me 3 tickets?" And he said, "No, you got to tap for each individual person." So kids can't even, if they don't have a credit card, they can't even tap to get on the fucking bus. So just shit like that's happening already, and I noticed it a lot in UK. They've very much gone cashless. What I did notice is when you actually try to use cash now, so we took a bit of cash across with us, thinking like we used to do when we travel, we just go to the money changer and swap it for some local currency, which you can still do, but that comes at a 19% commission fee. That's not included, and that wasn't including.
I wish you had asked me about that. I wish you'd asked me about that, mate. I would have.
Italy was the worst for that. They were fuckers there.
Me.
They were really bad. They were really
Those
bad.
bastards.
And that wasn't accounting for the spread either. Yeah.
It's funny in Berlin. It's actually the opposite. There's actually places where you can't. It's cash only. There's tons, everyone has cash here. Everyone uses cash. You go to a restaurant, all the waiters have these big purses, which tons of change.
Yeah. Bulgaria was more like that. That was a bit different. They were still more cash oriented, but
maybe it's the Eastern European countries are still. They're like no, we're
even
doing cash.
If you go south of Italy, mate, in Sicily, where I was. It's most people cash. I mean, people have cards, but like cash is like very much a part of everyday life.
Culture. Yeah.
Like I think the people
are still don't trust. Like the card, and people don't like the banks. They don't like
the people want to use the cash
in their DNA of just not liking those motherfuckers. You know,
it was interesting. So because we started off in Bulgaria, and then we worked our way across to the UK, and you literally seen it evolve across that journey. So more cash in Bulgaria, got to Croatia, still a lot of cash, but they were actually pretty good with crypto. Then Italy, starting to use card a little bit more there, but could still use cash. And then UK was pretty much just no cash really. Everyone's using the cards. But yeah, just the amount of middlemen still in everything is just gross at the moment. That the money changes are now, which was good. They're starting to accept Bitcoin. So you don't get angry, Bluey. Yeah. So the money changes were now accepting Bitcoin, but God knows what the commission and the slippage on that would be. But
I used a service, mate. Yeah. Before I left, I used a service that I just transferred the money, and they actually sent me money, like, by express.
Yeah.
Like in an express.
There's few.
They just actually sent me money in an express.
Oh, cash, like a. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, actually
through the mail.
Through the mail, like a big fat wad. Dude, I got like $7,000, like a big fat fucking wad of cash like this in the mail. And I'm like, I hope that shit doesn't go missing.
Yeah, like the ability to be able to move around and transact. There's just so many middlemen in that transaction now. Credit cards, minimum fee you'll pay on that with your local credit card overseas is 3%, and that's not including the exchange rate that they then take a clip on.
Yeah. If you want to withdraw cash, they'll charge you 5%.
One little tip:
exchange rate.
When you're taking out cash in an ATM overseas, and they ask you if you want to use this conversion rate, you always just say no, because they always give the worst rate, and you're much better off getting the bank rate.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's crazy the amount of there's a desperate need. So two things. It made me very bullish on crypto in general because the system is still horribly broken and there's just more fees and middlemen inserting themselves into these transactions. And there's no reason why they need to be at this point in time. But the reality is we've got to get more people using
it
blockchains natively.
So Jexa, if you just out of interest, if you had a PulseChain wallet on your phone and you could have just paid with Pulse via tapping or something like along those lines, do you think that would have been easier from a fee perspective, less expensive?
Sure. And it doesn't matter what the token is, whether it's Pulse, stablecoin, whatever it is. I think just that it's the peer-to-peer thing that's important. So if you can go peer-to-peer, then you cut out a lot of the middlemen.
The friction is changing into fiat. That's where all the friction is, because you know how you guys were giving me shit a couple of weeks ago for not accepting crypto. I looked into it again, and I looked into the things that people had mentioned, and the cheapest thing I found was still a 4%. I had to eat 4%.
No, you shouldn't have to. No, I use a service on my website, and it's coin payments, and that's nowhere near that.
What I was looking
at. But you're saying you want to go into fiat though, don't you? Yeah. So you want to accept crypto, but then bring it into fiat. Yeah. That's where you always get caught. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, that where that friction is going into fiat. They always take their pound of flesh.
Yeah, get you on the spread or on fees or both.
So what's been the issue really, other than people not having bloody wallets on in their pocket, so not having a connection to the blockchain, is okay, if I'm holding Pulse and someone over here, they don't want Pulse, they want something else, that's always been a friction point. But I think we're almost at that place now where you could send one thing and it would go through some sort of DEX or swapping type thing and appear in their wallet, however the hell they wanted it, and you could give them the right amount. Obviously, they'd still probably want to reference a currency that they're familiar with, a fiat currency, but it could be any coin you give them, whether it's a stable or Bitcoin or whatever. I don't think we're that far away from being able to do that sort of stuff now. And that was the big hope I had for this bull market, is that's one of the big changes we see. And I think with all these bridge aggregators and DEX aggregators, we're so close to that. But until we can get rid of that final step with the fiat thing, it may be really bullish on crypto, but it was also really disappointing to see how much everyone's getting skinned for doing something that should be easy to do.
But if that if that is the way it is, or that's the way it's going to be, then ideally we just skip into people just using crypto and keeping
that's
crypto.
That's
ideal. But it's almost it's not possible if every single transaction you're accounting for taxes and all that sort of stuff. On the merchant side,
you've got to be able to use them like a currency.
On the merchant side, it's problematic. It is problematic on the merchant side because you don't want to take the risk of it dropping 95%.
Oh no, I get but there's nothing to stop me sending you something in stable. I send Pulse, it gets converted, you get it in USDC or whatever it is you're happy to accept and hold. That's doable. There's no reason why we can't do that sort of stuff. And then so that's why it annoys me when I see this PayPal thing coming, because I think it's dragging us further away from that. They're inserting themselves into the middle of the blockchain now and still charging the 2s and 3s and 4% to do these transactions. They shouldn't be that. It should be, you shouldn't have to worry about that 4%. That's a shitload of money to lose on a day-to-day transaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a question here from Hex Rockstar. Are you guys going to be at the October Sydney meetup? I'm planning to visit down under. That's awesome, dude. That's absolutely awesome. I'm not going to say unfortunately, but I have a young family, so I can't really justify leaving even to go and enjoy myself up with all the hexagons, unfortunately. But any of you guys gonna head over? Bluey, you're probably not going to be in Australia, are you?
Don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'll probably head over.
I'm probably at like less than 20% chance right now of being able to go, but it's not like zero. Like it's not that I'm definitely not going, but as in it's better if people just expect me to not be there. And that's not meant to be some kind of like guised like, oh, I'm going to rock up as a surprise. I'm being serious. that it's unlikely that I'll be there, but I'll try.
And Sammy has both organized it and will be there, and we are hoping that how good would it be if and I hope it comes earlier, if the movie was out and able to be watched by the hexagons in October. So hopefully it comes out
with the conference.
Yeah, I really yeah.
I met up with I met up IRL with a hexagon from, I think it was Melbourne. He was over in Perth visiting his like some extended relation or some shit, and he just hit me up on Twitter and was like, "Yo, I'm going to be in Perth like these dates," and I was like, "Dude, I'm going to be doing the conference on the weekend, so as long as it's not there, I can meet up with you." And so we went for a coffee like north of here. And it was good. It was good. We had a really good chat, like, about the state of everything, and we pretty much agreed on everything. Surprisingly, it was really good.
Cool.
That's awesome. Guys, we've been going for a couple of hours, so I'm not sure if
you
want to wind it up or.
There was one thing I wanted to say when we were talking about the privacy thing, is that, and actually Red Squirrel mentioned it in the comments, sort of like beat me to saying it, even though I was already thinking it, was one of the other options for privacy potentially is that you can use Tetra to interact with contracts that don't have front ends in a user-friendly way. So theoretically, and I'm not, because I haven't done research on to make sure that it's safe to use yet, but assuming that software is safe to use, you would be able to use things like Tornado Cash and other various things that don't necessarily have front ends as an option for privacy. And if it was easy enough, then you could get enough people for an anonymity set. If it's not, then you won't. So it's kind of depends on how easy it's going to be, but someone could make a guide or something.
Let me look up the Tornado Cash anonymity. Oh, well, I guess I can't look up the anonymity set.
It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter because Tetra doesn't even exist yet. It's like end of this month.
And we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. Yeah, we haven't seen the software. So let's just.
And we'd have to make sure it's safe to use and that sort of thing. Because I think someone said parts of it are like not like parts of it are black boxed or some shit. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
So we'll just have to fucking keep squeezing the juice and see. We'll just have to see if the juice is worth the squeeze. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a Bitcoin saying, by the way. That's Robert Breedlove. So yeah, outros.
Jexa.
Yeah, I've got an outro. So Somi, he was talking about price appreciation and Metcalfe's law. And he said currently, and I don't know whether this is true or not, it doesn't sound right, but let's use this number for an example. If you've got 10,000 users currently, daily active users on the chain, and I think it was to get 100x, you needed to get that to 50,000 users on chain. That's not many people that each one of us needs to reach out to and explain the benefits of crypto to get a couple of people on board each, to get the network effect kicking along on PulseChain, and to ultimately realize my dream of everyone having a wallet. So we can freely transact around the world. So if you can see it, go out of your way and have a chat to a couple of people each, that will make a massive difference. You don't think your efforts will matter, but when you've got a group of people working in unison, you get an amplifying effect. So yeah, go out and speak to the people you've been meaning to talk to. Now's the time to get people involved when we're at the depths of despair in terms of price and things like that. You don't want to be telling them at the top of a bull run. So get out there and do your networking now.
Absolutely. Bluey?
Yeah, thanks a lot to everyone. And look out for 43andMe in a couple of days. And we'll be looking into Zenify.
Bluey will be looking into Zenify. I'll be nodding my head.
Distance.
I'm joking, man. That's what that channel's for. Okay, so it's we're gonna dive in and try and understand why Bluey is enamored with this shit. Big thank you to everyone in the chat. As always, you guys who make it worthwhile. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next week, because next week is our Discourse
I didn't get an outro.
Oh, you did? I thought you did an outro.
No. I think normally I jump in and go first or something, so you might have assumed I did. All I wanted to say is people have been asking Seven and I if our streaming wingman ship has died because we haven't done it the last 2 weeks, but it was just because of Seven's commitments and timing and that. We will be doing so around this time tomorrow night, but in fact, sorry, it's normally an hour earlier than this, so 23 hours from now, but Seven wants to do it a couple of hours later, so it's going to be 25 hours from now. So Wednesday, you do the time math. Fuck y'all. We're back on. Seven and I will be back on, and we've got a lot to talk about with all the shit. We touched on some of it here, the PayPal stuff and the MakerDAO and the SEC crash, all that shit. So we'll be firing that shit up. I hope that you guys can join us. It's a popular stream, and I guess just shout out the Tang Gang and thank you for being so supportive of my content. No, seriously, they've been so supportive of. I mean, look, I know they're doing it partly selfishly. That part of the reason they're supporting the HEX influencers is to get attention to their shit, but it's a two-way street, right? They know that they are providing they have to provide the value to get the value back or whatever. So regardless of their intentions, I appreciate the support, and they've just been a positive vibe, and they've been supportive of my shit. And so I appreciate it. And that's about it. I think that's all I've got for you guys. Stay strong. Stay strong. We will get our day in the sun. We will, in terms of the PulseChain community, we will get our day in the sun. It is coming, and I hope sooner than people expect. Let's fucking grove.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, everyone. We're going to wind it up. Thanks, Jack. Thank you, Jexa. It's lovely to have you back after 6 weeks. Thanks, Bluey.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, man.
And Tangent, thank you, mate. We always appreciate your insight and your tangents. We'll see everyone next week.
See everyone.
Peace,
guys.